For a famous monster, werewolves ain't seen very much, relatively speaking. You're much more likely to see slashers, zombies, or their cousins, vampires. But for whatever reason, probably a fluke, 1981 featured two films considered among the best in the genre: American Werewolf in London and The Howling. I like both films, but there's one I have always preferred. If you care about which one it is, and frankly you probably don't, but stay tuned anyway, all the way through to find out which one it is. Werewolf in London is often considered the best werewolf movie ever made. It's about two American tourists who get attacked by a strange-looking wolf. One of them gets killed, the other just gets bit, and he ends up shacking up with a hot British nurse. There's also a weird dream sequence with Nazi monsters. This frankly has nothing to do with the rest of the film, but it's a fun scene anyway. And he's continually visited by his dead buddy, who looks worse every time he sees him, who wants him to kill himself because his soul can't cross over till the werewolf is gone. The Howling is about a woman played by Dee Wallace, who was in a ton of 80s horror films, who gets PTSD from dealing with a serial killer who she swears turned into a wolf. She later goes to a colony of self-helpers, who, surprise, surprise, end up being a colony of werewolves. There's also a really fun love scene with a hot gypsy with, big assets that turns animated for some reason. The two films are different in tone. Werewolf in London is a black horror comedy, and The Howling is deadly serious, but they both feature breathtaking special effects and transformations. So which one is better? Both transforming scenes are iconic, but Werewolf in London probably has the best transformation scene ever filmed. It looks painful, to be honest with you. The werewolves look a lot different too. The werewolf in London looks more like a giant normal wolf on steroids that walks on all fours. But the Howling looks more like I would consider a werewolf to look, standing on 2 feet. To me, the werewolf never looked better than they do in The Howling. In all honesty, most people would probably say Werewolf in London is a better film, but honestly I have always greatly preferred The Howling. I can't really tell you why though, but I think it might be anti-hype. When I went into London, I was expecting a hilarious comedy the likes of Evil Dead 2. But what I got was a fun movie that was mildly humorous, and frankly I don't think the movie is as brilliant as it thinks it is. Still, if you prefer it, more power to you. Honestly, they're pretty close in my opinion. It's a personal preference. Maybe I just like the hot gypsy chick. London was followed by American Werewolf in Paris, which frankly isn't very good, and is mostly just a standalone film that has a title close to the original to trick people into seeing it. The Howling, well, the less said about that franchise the better, because it frankly sucks. Honestly, there is one film in the series besides the original that I like, but I can't remember which one it is. If I knew I would eventually have a YouTube channel that like 5 people would watch, maybe I would keep notes. Speaking of solid werewolf films, another one from the 80s, the golden age of werewolves, is The Company of Wolves, which can be considered a retelling of Little Red Riding Hood with Freudian overtones. The film feels like a fairy tale as well as an anthology because there's actual multiple stories in it. And of course, the modern gem, Ginger Snaps, that features 2 sisters who are obsessed with death. The transformation is a metaphor for, well, you know what I mean, ladies. No comment. And check out one of my favorite Hammer films, The Curse of the Werewolf. One of the coolest werewolves in cinema history. As for the original Wolfman, I will get to it later.